let's keep it in the NFC North here. Let's go to the Detroit Lions. The Lions who got to the NFC Championship game last season, and Jack was partying in New York City with our friend Alex.
Lions were Bailey's the Lions bar in Manhattan.
Did you feel like a Lions fan during that time?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It was great, but I remember when they beat the Rams that first game, I had them -3, so I was kind of upset.
I remember the reel that we had. We put out a video, Jack. All these Lions fans are celebrating winning the playoff game for the first time.
And I was just like,
in a long time. And you see Jack going, -3.
Like they didn't cover.
-3.
But no, it was very cool. I became part of the Lions fan base for a couple of weeks.
So the Lions, that's the most success that they've had in 30 years. Like, the Lions haven't seen this. This is unfamiliar territory for basically any Lions fan who we would know around our age. And I think that a lot of Lions fans, we talked about this, them finding a lot of success in last season's run where, they finally break down the door, get into the playoffs, actually go on that little bit of a run. And all of a sudden now in Detroit, there are high expectations. There's high expectations for Jared Goff. There's high expectations for Dan Campbell to deliver. And I actually think he cost them a Super Bowl opportunity last year. So the Lions finally have some pressure on them, which is not a familiar feeling for this franchise. But when you look up and down their roster, they're absolutely loaded. And I would say the second best team on paper in the NFC right now. Mm-hmm. What do you think the expectations in Detroit should be?
Well, when you talk winning a Super Bowl, I believe the only team with that expectation is probably the Chiefs. That's very hard to do.
You gotta put the 49ers. Like the 49ers.
Yeah, you're right. Niners too. I'd say the Lions is reached the Super Bowl. Because last year they were in the NFC Championship. This roster, as you said, is quite awesome and ready to do it. They've improved the areas they had to improve on. They don't really have many holes. And if you're in that big game, in a game like that, with a huge lead, with most of the game, you're blowing the Niners out for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, you have to expect to get back there. I think anything less than that with a team this good
is a failure.
Would be a failure. So I'd say the Lions, a successful season is to reach Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get that. I'm Super Bowl or bust for Detroit right now. I think that roster is good enough where if they fall short of a Super Bowl, failure is a strong word. I would say disappointment.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not saying wins. I'm saying get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's crazy, that things can change this quickly in the NFL. From they were 1-8, I believe it was a couple of years ago, and here we are, a year and a half later, and I'm saying that it's Super Bowl or bust in Detroit. But I really think that is the case because they again 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game. Just to get to the Super Bowl would be great. Like I guess in some ways that is still a successful season, of course, for Detroit. But if I'm setting what is a success, I do think it's Super Bowl or bust because this team is definitely good enough with the top 5 offense. You said they made huge additions this offseason to the defensive line and the secondary. It's going to be a battle. It's not going to be easy by any means. San Francisco has the best path, to winning their division, I'd say, in terms of just dominance. And the Lions are going to have to go up against the Packers and the Bears, and we'll see what happens with the Vikings. But producer Zach, what do you think? So I said Super Bowl or bust for the Lions. Jack says get to the Super Bowl. Is it? What do you think? Which one would you come down on?
I'm gonna go with Super Bowl, just because how close
winning
they
it.
Yeah,
Winning it.
I think making it.
I'll see you with Jack.
Most people tend to be. Most people tend to be.
I think it's got to be Super. I think it's Super Bowl win or bust.
Because look, it's.
I mean, you only have so many years.
We're both at a very similar point. You're getting there and winning it.
Oh yeah, we're very close.
Yeah, and I can talk from experience of being a fan of the Steelers. Like when you have a team who you feel is ready and you reach the championship game and feel like you're good enough to go to the Super Bowl and win it. When you don't get back to the championship, you feel very, very disappointed.
Oh, yeah. No. But
if the Lions fall short this year in the divisional round, I'm disappointed.
Oh, I 100% agree. Yeah, I think it's a failure if they don't get back to the conference championship. Yeah. Especially because now they're paying Sewell. They're paying Amon-Ra. They're paying Goff. They're going to have to pay Hutchinson. All these star players are going to eat up a lot of their salary cap going forward. I'm sure that it's pushed back right now. But you're handing out these massive contracts. Who knows how long it's going to be until they start to come down to earth a little bit. So that's why I put Detroit up there right now. I think Jahmyr Gibbs this season could be special.
I mean, they're ready.
I
They
love Jameer. Jameer Gibbs in terms of fantasy, and we'll get more into it in July and August. I'm not sure if he falls outside the top 5.
We'll monitor that.
Top 5 overall pick?
Picks, yeah, top 5. Well, I guess with the receivers, top 5 running backs. Because I guess with the receivers now, they're going 1.
I can see him as a top 5 running back, yeah.
But I think Jameer Gibbs is arguably probably a top 10 pick, right?
I mean, they're one of the better offenses it will be all season. But he's a top 10 pick, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to be amazing. And Montgomery's so good, too, that eats up a little bit.